Okay, so welcome to Subtraction of Integers. The first question that we are supposed to have for this session is, what happens when you subtract? When you subtract integers, the process actually is very simple. You're actually adding the opposite. So, if for example, I have 5 minus 7, it's actually the same as 5 plus the opposite of 7, which is negative 7. So that's the definition. That's how it actually works. You're simply adding the opposite of the subtrahend. So the final answer is negative 2. So very simple. We always go back to the method or to the rules of addition when we do subtraction of integers. Now, what about if you have 4 minus 4? Well, this may sound very simple, but actually the process behind that is you're adding 4 to the opposite of 4, which is negative 4. And we know that if two integers are added and they're opposites, the answer is always 0. So our takeaway for this one is very simple. We go back to the rules of addition of integers. We follow the rules, but we just make a very simple revision. That is to change our subtraction signs to addition signs because of the concept that says we are adding the opposite. Alright, let's have another example. What if you have negative 5 minus 8? So, going back to the concept of subtraction, which is to add the opposite, we have negative 5 and we add the opposite, this time of negative or of positive 8, which is negative 8. Okay, so the answer is, since they have the same sign, you have negative 13. So we go back to the rules of addition. Okay, another device or method that could help us is this mnemonic device called the Kfc method. What's the Kfc method? It's called the keep, flip, change method. And how does this work? Okay, so let's try to erase something here. Okay, let's have a new set of example. So apart from the concept adding the opposite, we can also view or use the method KFC, which is K for keep, F for flip, and C for change. Now, let me demonstrate how this works. For example, you have negative 8 minus 4. Alright, so if you see subtraction, first you keep the minuend. Keep the minuend. So that still is negative 8. Next, flip the sign. Flip the sign. So that's subtraction. Flip it to addition. Next, change the sign of the subtrahend. So subtrahend is positive 4. That's positive 4. Change the sign to its opposite. So that becomes now negative 4. So final answer is you're adding a negative 8 and a negative 4, which will give us a negative 12. Let's have another example. What if you have 9 minus negative 7? 9 minus negative 7. Using the Kfc method, we keep 9. So that becomes positive 9. By keeping 9, you keep the sign of 9. So it's still positive. Next, you flip the minus sign. That becomes addition now. So 9 plus, and change negative 7 to its opposite. Change negative 7 to its opposite, which is positive 7. And so, the final answer is 16. Okay. Last example. What if you have negative 4 minus negative 8? So that's the given. Again, using KFC method, or even using the concept of adding opposites, we keep negative 4, we flip the minus sign, that becomes addition, and we change negative 8 to its opposite, which is positive 8. So if we use the concept of adding opposites, it's like adding the opposite of negative 8 to 4, which is correct, adding positive 8. So that becomes now positive 4. Alright? And so, to even finalize our processes, this is how actually the concept of subtraction in general is being used, or is the process being used. So you have the following. So if you have a positive minus a positive, you're changing it to a positive plus a negative. If you have a positive minus a negative, you're changing it to a positive and a positive. A negative minus a positive will be changed to a negative plus a negative. And last is a negative minus negative will be changed to negative plus positive. So bear this in mind. The rules, if you still have a little bit of confusion, we see each other in class tomorrow. And I hope that you've learned something from this video. So once again, thank